Paris, June 2023. 2.5 years since Whole Lotta Red rewired modern hip-hop, and Playboi Carti had gone radio silent. No leaks, no fit pics, just a mystery. Fans kept asking, where's the new album? But Carti wasn't missing. Beneath the streets of Paris, deep inside the catacombs, he built a recording studio in a cave. Down there, surrounded by bones and dark passages, Carti started building something entirely new. He later told Numero Berlin that the music he made down there was chaotic, manic, and insane. He called this period one of isolation. He cut himself off from the world and started recording tracks that didn't sound like anything he'd done before. Every take sounded like a seance. Filthy's beats were industrial madness, chainsaws for synths, 808s that rattled the walls. Carti's voice mutated into the now mythic raspy voice halfway between a chant and a meltdown. DJ Academics reported that Carti's label quietly shelved this version of music. The label wanted something more accessible. Translation, less demonic. Carti himself allegedly described the final album as his attempt to go mainstream, which, judging by the sales and streamings, he succeeded. But not everyone was happy. The die-hard Carti fans were convinced the Cave Sessions version was the real masterpiece, the version that could have rewrote the hip-hop game just like Whole Lotta Red. 3 months in a Parisian cave doesn't sound long, but in Carti years, that's basically a full creative lifetime. Here's the thing, Carti's not lazy. He's just a perfectionist. The man's in the studio constantly. He just refuses to drop anything that doesn't meet his standard. According to DJ Swamp Izzo, Carti recorded around 1,000 tracks while working on music, and he can crank out 5 songs in a single session. If that's true, then in that cave alone, he might have laid down hundreds of songs. And here's the tragic part. We'll probably never hear most of it. The experimental sound, the darkness, the industrial punk vibe, all buried somewhere between a hard drive and a haunted tunnel beneath Paris. Carti ditched the entire aesthetic, pivoting to something cleaner, easier to digest, and let's be honest, algorithm-friendly. That would have been the end of the story if it weren't for the leakers. Thanks to them, we got a glimpse of the cave's madness, a few surviving fragments of what could have been Carti's strangest and maybe greatest era. It all started at Rolling Loud, March 4th, 2023, when Carti opened his set with a brand new song fans later dubbed Rockstar. No, it wasn't technically from the cave, but it carried that same chaotic DNA. According to Filthy, Carti recorded it 5 minutes before the show on the backstage. For 2 years, fans thought Rockstar was lost forever, until a short 5-second snippet leaked, confirming that the myth was real and leakers got it. A few weeks ago, Carti played the song live in LA during the Antagonist tour. The crowd lost it. And because Carti feeds on confusion like it's oxygen, he kept performing unreleased songs just to keep the mystery alive. Then came Pop Out, which debuted at the Wireless Festival in July 2024. An industrial monster of a track that sounded like someone fed a chainsaw into an 808. Fans loved it, but casual listeners thought their speakers were breaking. Pop Out became a fan grail, and nearly 2 years later, it finally made it to streaming on music. Pop Out is the perfect case study for why Carti changed direction. Hardcore fans adored it. Everyone else panicked. It was too abrasive, too heavy, too crazy, and that's exactly what the cave music sounded like. A blend of distortion, aggression, and artistic insanity that probably gave his label nightmares. The beat felt like an industrial siren, buzzing synths, heavy 808s, rapid-fire hi-hats, like a rave hosted by a power drill. Carti used his raspy voice, similar to what he did on Whole Lotta Red, but lower pitched and even more shredded. It was a tone that made him sound perfect for those distorted beats. From the Cave era, 2 other tracks eventually surfaced and made it onto music. My favorite track on the album is Coke Nose, where Filthy sampled Only You by Ashanti and somehow turned a romantic R&B loop into something that sounds like heartbreak in a blender. And live, when Carti performs it with OG on electric guitar, it absolutely sounds insane. The second track that made it onto Music Deluxe is F on My DJ. It debuted live at Summer Smash 2024 and instantly became a fan favorite. We got the track alongside a clip from 2023 showing flashes of that era's aesthetic. In my opinion, way better than his recent Atlanta-inspired style. For months, nobody had a clue what else Carti cooked up down there until the files started leaking. Every file name, every timestamp, every cryptic folder name, suddenly it was all part of the puzzle. So yeah, let's get into it. Meet Your Maker is possibly the weirdest Carti song ever. It's basically a remix of a Memphis funk track by Tommy Wright with the same title. Carti, under heavy influence, filmed a music video inside the headquarters of the French Communist Party. The track got roasted online, but honestly, it's kind of genius. Absurd, yes, but interesting. If the visuals from that era looked anything like that video, we truly lost something special. Roar, also known, unfortunately, as Come, sounds more like freestyle, with Carti pushing his vocals to the absolute limit, like he just smoked an entire pack of cigarettes before hitting record. The lyrics are, let's just say, questionable. But the beat, absolutely insane, straight out of a horror movie. And of course, Filthy was behind it. The next leaked song from this era is We Not Equal.
Stop on shit like I'm a disciple. I got a head of Cody on my waffle. She got a head that white shit in her NASA. She got a head that poker.
Rumored to have featured Future, staying on the music track list until the very last minute before Carti scrapped it. It had one verse, no hook, and we don't have a version with Future verse. Even unfinished, it went harder than most songs on the final album. Fans also got Fake Love, aka Overdose.
That fake love. That bitch yeah. We the opposite, yeah. And money was us.
The first track to showcase what fans call the modern deep voice, Carti's low demonic delivery that hadn't appeared anywhere before. It leaked as a replacement when the seller for Meet Yo Maker flaked during a group buy, but fans were not satisfied with this one. On B5. This track was recorded during the same session as Roar, 3 days before Pop Out. Track is produced by Filthy and Lucrative. It leaked in full in March 2025. Fans described it as eerie, hypnotic, that perfect middle ground between Whole Lotta Red Rage and the industrial sound from Pop Out. The next track we know about is Noddin'. Noddin' is a collab with Pierre Bourne, who was in Paris at the exact same time. Apparently, Pierre cooked up a whole batch of beats during that era, but this is the only one we've actually heard about. The snippet dropped in 2025, and fans instantly thought it was from the Baby Boy era, because, let's be honest, Carti's timeline is hard to figure out. 666.
Rickles, baby, I'm rockin' ballistic. No, I can never pull up in no room. Every time she's like, I change my mood. Phone girl, I make her my boo. I got a pound for living in the stool. Smoking a cigarette, chain with a jewel. Evil that nigga, my bitch, you a Jew.
Is a collaboration with Lil Uzi Vert, the only rapper confirmed to have worked with Carti during that period. The leak we got only had Uzi's vocals, meaning Carti's part is lost to time, which somehow makes it even more Carti. Doctor is one of my favorite Cave Era leaks. The song was produced by Filthy and recorded during the same session as Pop Out. It was originally planned to be the main single of the Cave Era instead of Pop Out. And the energy? Pure Cave. Aggressive, distorted, demonic, the kind of track that makes you realize Carti might have actually thrown away some of his best work. Finally, the crown jewel of the leaks, Minaj.
Bitches be selling me less. She trying to tell me her sense. I'm trying to help her.
This one's been a grail ever since a snippet popped up on June 29th, 2023. At first, people thought it was AI. Then it hit the black market for $15,000 before getting force leaked the same day. The real file have just 1 minute and 20 seconds of vocals and an open verse. Someone looped Carti's part over and over just to make it sound complete. The full sessions are still in the hands of leakers who claim the song was never actually finished. Oh, and that old file name floating around, totally fake, and definitely not from May 2022. Insiders confirmed Carti recorded his verse in May 2023, while Uzi laid his down on June 29th. I also found this unnamed snippet. Two other grails, Problem Child and Homicide 555, recorded weeks after the Cave period, carried that same gritty DNA. The man was on a streak, just not one the world was ready for. In early 2023, we witnessed significant aesthetic evolution of Playboi Carti. He turned from punk vampire into full-on death metal demon. The visuals were darker, the imagery more satanic, and his public presence non-existent. He basically became an urban legend in Balenciaga boots. During the Cave era, Carti's creative director was Sex's Death, a tattoo artist and designer from Denmark who pushed his aesthetic straight into the gothic death metal zone. We actually made a whole video about her influence on Carti's style. You can check it out here. She took over curating Carti's look in 2023, and during that time, she was everywhere around him. Carti first popped out wearing one of her fits at Wireless 2023, a t-shirt from Swedish death metal band Grave. That energy carried into the promo for Carti's Antagonist tour, where she appeared front and center, Carti lurking in the background, moving like an ancient ritual in Balenciaga and half a dozen other avant-garde brands. Then came Rolling Loud Miami, where Carti showed up the new Opium logo, designed by none other than Sex's Death herself. Naturally, fans noticed the shift. People started pointing out how much this new look echoed Drain Gang, the Swedish collective known for their cold dystopian style. It doesn't hurt that Sex's Death is Scandinavian too, just like Blade. Some of Carti's shoots look straight out of an Echo 2K IG with same ethereal lighting and melancholy vibe. In hindsight, it's starting to look like Whole Lotta Red V2 all over again, an experimental masterpiece smothered by commercial pressure. The Cave Sessions music might never drop, but its myth keeps growing. So, did Carti throw away the best album of his career? Maybe. But in the end, the legend of the Cave might be better than the music itself, because nothing sounds as good as what you'll never get to hear. One thing is certain, fans love this era, and the drugs Carti was on at this time needs to be studied. Peace.